peaceful Sunday in the northern and eastern parts of Russia was disturbed by massive sounds of explosions. Russian airfields in Murmansk, Irkutsk, Ivanovo, Ryazan, and Amur regions, far from Ukrainian borders, were attacked by Ukrainian drones. This attack comes ahead of ongoing Ukraine-Russia peace talks in Turkey. So, how did Ukraine even manage to carry out such a daring yet dangerous plan, and what damage did it cause to Russia? How will this attack impact the war and the peace talks, and how does Russia intend to retaliate? This is the story of how the battlefield has changed, and what it means for the future of global warfare. Since February 2022, the war between Russia and Ukraine has evolved into one of the most drone-intensive conflicts in modern history. What began as a traditional ground invasion has now escalated into a high-tech war of attrition, waged in the skies with drones and missiles. In 2025, the air war between Russia and Ukraine reached unprecedented levels. From May 24th to May 25th, Russia launched its largest aerial attack yet. 367 drones and 69 missiles targeted cities like Kiev, Kharkiv, and Mykolaiv. Ukraine's defenses responded, downing 266 drones and 45 missiles. But the damage was severe, 12 dead, including 3 children in Zhytomyr. Dozens wounded and homes destroyed. These attacks were Russia's retaliation for something far more strategic, Ukraine's drone war. But the main incident happened on June 1st, 2025, under the name of Operation Spiderweb. Ukraine's security service executed precision strikes on Olynia and Belia airbases, destroying strategic bombers including Tupolev 95s and Tupolev 22 minutes and 3 seconds. Both bases are 1,800 kilometers and 4,300 kilometers away from the Ukrainian borders, respectively. Ukrainian sources claimed over 40 aircraft were destroyed. Drones hit the Bokov electronics plant, Ilyets battery facility, and the Volgograd refinery. Russia's internal security was being tested. The operation was personally overseen by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and Vasyl Maliuk, head of the SBU Domestic Intelligence Agency. According to CBS, the White House wasn't warned of this beforehand. Given that Ukraine targeted locations in Russia beyond the range of its missiles or drones, how did Ukraine manage to pull this off? Given the warnings by Russia to the Western world of not providing long-range missiles to Ukraine, Ukraine was able to find a loophole so strategic it might be used for decades to come. Well, according to first-hand reports, quadcopter drones were used by the security service of Ukraine to launch attacks on Russian bases from close range. Explosive-laden drones were hiding inside the roofs of wooden sheds, according to a Ukrainian security official and images posted online. The sheds were loaded onto trucks that were driven to the perimeter of the air bases. The roof panels of the sheds were lifted off by a remotely activated mechanism, allowing the drones to fly out and begin their attack. This attack shows that not only did Ukrainian drones hit Russian targets, but there were people inside Russia who collaborated with Ukraine to facilitate the transportation of trucks near the Russian bases, carrying the drones. Russian sources on Telegram claimed that the drones were built inside Russia, in Chelyabinsk. Russian sources say they were assembled in a warehouse near the Kazakhstan border. If true, that means Ukraine managed to quietly set up logistics, smuggle parts across the Russian border, and launch an op deep inside enemy territory, all while under constant invasion. That's not just impressive. That's next-level asymmetric warfare. According to Ukrainian officials, the operation took almost 18 months to plan and execute. The Ukrainian Security Service reports that the estimated cost of the damage to the Russian Air Force's fleet of long-range bombers Tupolev 95 and Tupolev 22 and other strategic aviation is believed to surpass $7 billion, employed early 50s and 70s, respectively. These planes are long-range strategic bombers that can fly at a height above 43,000 feet, carry armaments of over 15,000 kilograms with an operational range of 2,000 plus kilometers. Damage to such a fleet can really impact the aerial performance of Russia and heavily impact its future war in Ukraine. Furthermore, the attack on Olynia in the north has raised concerns over a Russian nuclear submarine being targeted, though it's yet to be confirmed. Such an attack comes as a surprise, as both sides exchanged 1,000 prisoners between May 23rd and 25th. This came after much-anticipated Ukraine-Russia talks in Turkey that started by mid-May. But now, even those talks seem to be done and dusted, and given the intensity of the Ukrainian attack, Russia will surely answer. This can raise the possibility of a nuclear escalation, as Russia has previously warned the West regarding it. Now, that seems very imminent. In retaliation, Russia can use its ballistic missiles like Iskander-M, Tochka-U, Kh-47M Tukinsul, RS-24 and 26 Yars, S-300, and S-400. This attack can be called the Pearl Harbor of Russia, as Russia was caught off guard and its air fleet, alongside the naval base in Olynia, has also been damaged. For the context, Pearl Harbor was the US naval base in Hawaii, which was attacked by Japanese forces in December 1941. That attack forced the US into World War II and resulted in the changing of the course of history forever, taking the war back to Japanese cities and ending it with 2 nuclear attacks on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It wasn't long ago when Pakistan and India were also on the verge of nuclear war, and given how drones were also used in those attacks, now we see one at the Ukraine and Russian front. We pray that may sense prevail and humanity gets to live in peace.